name is Nemesis. This is my assistant Venom, and this is my third and final entry to the IJA 2011 Juggling tutorial competition. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to do the Nelson's Nemesis. It should look something like this. As you can see, Nelson's Nemesis involves hand motions very similar to Rubinstein's Revenge, in fact almost identical. So let's start out by learning the two-ball sort of Rubinstein's Revenge pattern that's going on. I recommend that you try this without clawing at first, so that it's easier to kind of wrap your head around the pattern as a whole before you throw in that extra confusion from the claw catches. You're going to start out with one ball in each hand, and you're going to throw them up to the same height. Your left hand will cross over and up and catch the right hand thrown ball at the top of its path, and your right hand will cross underneath and catch the other ball at the bottom. Once you're in this position, you will unwind so that you're crossed in the opposite direction. So right now your left hand is on top, you're going to spin around so your left hand is on the bottom, and when you get to this position, your left hand is going to release its ball up into a column throw. This left hand ball will be released in the center of your body, even though your hand is crossed underneath. And after that ball is thrown, you'll continue to uncross so that your right hand is now in its natural position, and your right hand will do a column throw after that throw towards the right. So it'll look like this. Notice that the balls switch places, and you should practice on the other side. Throw up both, your right hand crosses over, spin around, throw both, make sure they change positions. Practice that a few times on both sides. Now you'll notice that in this two-ball pattern, when your left hand crosses over, your right hand has kind of an empty beat after throwing and before catching at the bottom. So there, your right hand is free for a second. And at the other end of the pattern, when you throw them both up, your left hand has a free beat after throwing up the center ball before the right hand throws up its ball. So, here. So you're going to take advantage of those two empty beats to throw on the third ball. The third ball goes in the hand that's going to be crossing underneath to catch one of the balls that you first throw up. And you're going to throw up the first two balls as usual. And before you catch that bottom ball, when you have that empty beat, you're going to throw up this third ball on the outside of the pattern, more to the left than the leftmost ball of the first two you originally threw. Like so. Now of course you're going to use the spot your left hand has after throwing its ball in the center of your body to catch that ball as it comes down to the left. Like so. So the second hand to release from the Rubinstein's twisty motion is going to release and throw up at the same time as the outside column ball gets thrown up again in the outside column. Make sure that you hold on to that twisty ball until the outside column is ready to be thrown so they can go up at the same time and give you that two-up effect. So once you're in this position, you're going to throw up the next two balls, and one of your hands is going to move to the center to cradle that center ball and move it out to the opposite outside column from that hand's side. So your right hand would bring it to your left, left hand would bring it out to your right. And whichever hand brings out the middle ball to the outside will then be the hand that catches underneath. So that dictates which way the pattern will cross next. So from that point you can either go like this or like that. In order to do a full Nelson's Nemesis, it's important that you alternate which side you shuck the center ball to. If you don't do that and you always go to the same side, which is what I always did when I was learning it, you end up doing a half Nelson, which, pardon the pun, is kind of hard to get out of. If you're having trouble wrapping your head around the pattern at this point, I might actually recommend purposefully doing a half Nelson so that you can just understand one half of the trick at the very least. I'll demonstrate a half Nelson for you. Notice that the center ball goes to the left all the time. So an easy way to remember which hand should catch that center ball and move it out to the opposite side of your body is whichever hand reached up and caught the first of those two balls that were thrown together the last time that happened. So right now I'm going to show you by catching with my left hand this yellow ball, and the left hand will then be the one that needs to throw the center ball out to the right again. Yellow is the center, it goes out to the left. You'll notice that that's actually the same ball that you reached up and caught in the first place. Watch again. So I would advise you to focus on the hand that's currently the top hand, which is the one that goes up here and grabs one of those two first. Focus on it catching that ball, spinning around, saving the third ball, which is kind of tossed up on the side, and then again catching the center ball and throwing it out to the opposite side. And that makes the full Nelson's Nemesis pattern, which alternates sides. Now let's add in the claw catches. So you're going to have one ball in each hand, you'll throw them both up, and this time your left hand will claw the rightmost ball, like so. So end up with one hand facing up, one hand facing down. You're going to switch directions, but as you switch directions, you're going to switch which hand is facing up and which one's facing down as well. Like so. So now your hand on top is again facing down, your hand on the bottom is facing up. Hand on the bottom is going to do a throw, and your other hand is going to unwind some more and do another throw straight up. And it's going to be kind of a claw to throw. Let's see that again. This adds a bit more flourish to the pattern. The reason you switch which hand is facing down is because it actually makes it easier in the final pattern to do the next claw catch. So when you do the first two, the hand that's on the bottom will end up over here, and the next catch it will need to do will be the next claw catch of the next two balls that are thrown up. So watch. See that transfer? It becomes a lot easier if you've switched your hands around. Because this is a bit of a jerky pattern, I recommend trying to smooth over that claw catch transfer at the top of the pattern. So if you can, I guess instead of doing a full column throw when you're releasing from the claw position, you can kind of let it go inwards towards the center of your body and slide onto the next claw catch. And this will kind of result in a more messy looking pattern. Let's see if I can show that to you. You'll notice that this results in me kind of cutting short that ball that I'm now clawing, and that kind of gets rid of the two-up effect that the original pattern had. But I kind of prefer the Mills Mess effect, so depending on what you like aesthetically about the pattern, you can play around with that. That's pretty much it for Nelson's Nemesis. Practice it, have fun, and good luck. And of course, my final bit of shameless self-promotion, if you're watching this between April 1st and April 4th of 2011, it'd be really awesome if you could go down to that link that should be in my description during that time period and give me your vote in this competition.